After all these months, the end is finally here. Hey anyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Abhi on Camera, where today we're watching the finale of Young Justice Phantoms. I really can't believe I'm saying that. I said this a lot, but how on earth are we at the end of the season already? I've also been saying this a lot, but thank you so much to everyone who is watching my reactions and taking the time to comment down below. I really appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have made this experience so much more fun and enjoyable for me, and it's just amazing. Thank you so much. I really hope that a few more of you will stick around and subscribe and to watch some of my other reactions. As for the episode, I think you all know where we are. Things are bad. Lots of people are dead. And it's not clear what's going to happen. I have been waiting eagerly for this finale, and also dreading it because, you know, it's a finale. You don't really want something to end. I've also been dodging spoilers because someone told me that the episode was leaked in other countries. And so, you know, little flashes of clips have been showing up on YouTube, and I've just had to, you know, hide them away. I just want to see what happens. So, let's just get into it. Right where he picked off. Come on. What's gonna happen? Why do they always want to take over Earth as new Krypton? Like, why not just go and find a habitable planet and go take over that thing? Don't. I knew they would cliffhanger us again by playing the intro. This is it. The final intro of Young Justice Phantoms. Ba-da-da-ba-da. Bow, bow, bow. Bow, bow, bow. Ba-da-ba-ba-bow, bow. Ba-ba-ba-bow, bow. Ba-ba-ba-bow. You won't even go back to Connor 5 minutes earlier. Hey, you are alive. Ha! I was right. I knew he was faking it.
Dick.
You're all faking it.
Not as bad as it looks. Well, I guess it's bad enough.
Bad but aren't. It's an old pro.
And you slowed your pulse to fake your death.
Oh.
Batman trick.
And here I thought they were gonna reverse time. Still a possibility, but I knew I shouldn't have believed it.
Searching for Connor to create the illusion you saw.
Very helpful.
Our best trick. One we've gotten way too good at.
Yeah, you guys do fake your deaths a lot in this show, don't you?
You played. She didn't make it.
No, she's fine.
It just gets worse and worse.
I mean, come on. From everything you explained, it got a lot better.
Superman, Danny,
And then it
Connor
goes.
need us. We won't need it.
Hey, baby, you know, you were supposed to replace your mom, but you've been out of the running the entire show?
I heard you took a name. Yeah. Connor
Come
Kent.
on, let the family word trigger it.
Clark Kent. Your parents too.
I love this change.
I'd like that.
That Clark couldn't accept being Connor's father,
Jonathan Samuel
so
Kent.
he's like, what about brother? We're still family.
Your...
Come on, Connor.
I can't kill him again.
Good job, Connor.
He's family.
Thank you. The stupid school bug. No. Miniature. Nope, now I have maintain.
You can't hold back.
That is true. She is immensely powerful, and that whole deal of her being too powerful and shooting before talking was a... I can't even speak properly, but that was a really interesting arc.
Feora.
Oh, hey, you're alive. Thought you were gonna eat me.
Your army will arrive within the hour.
Excellent.
Fire, burn. Come on, why don't you put any mental barriers up? Don't touch the glowy thing. Connor,
Finally, you show your loyalty.
make up your mind.
This one.
Please tell me Danny's still in there. Yes, he's still alive. No one's dead.
No.
Fire, burn, and eyeball. What's that? Oh, baby. Right on time.
Not you.
Yes.
Please Fix this.
You don't have.
Listen
You who you are.
to her. Oh, another flashback session. Seriously, if this episode doesn't end with their marriage, I'm gonna be annoyed.
Hi.
Oh, thank jeez. It's done. He's back. The rest of this is shield.
You will die for that.
Wait, is this the first time we've seen Megan with the hood on?
Or
Don't
leave
think-
sight.
That zapping isn't working. Maybe you should all trade partners.
One chance to stand down.
Please, I've wanted this fight for a while.
To surrender.
Please don't make me.
Oh, I love her absolute confidence in herself with that line. Please don't. No, that's she's forking with you again. No, her line. Please don't make me. Megan's absolute confidence in her own power. Megan, you need to help Danny now.
Picking on someone your
Oh,
own size.
Saturn girl. That's thanks for that. Please kick him. Yes, you kicked him. Love when you just take it literal.
You know what you have to do?
The people I love.
Come on, please let Connor kick his butt. Deserves it. I love team up moves with superheroes. They're always great when you combine different powers. I mean, these two have the same powers, but get my point. Come on, you two.
Trying to kill my man.
Get in that line.
I'll explain later.
Please explain now. Where'd you get the... Whatever. You're alive. No one dies. I expected... I told you. I didn't accept any of that. And I was right. Sorry, Malefac. You totally deserve that. I hoped, maybe this season, maybe at the beginning at least, that you would show a hint of being a decent person. But no. Combo punch, triple. Back into the Phantom Zone with you. Don't forget to hydrate, folks. Hey, yeah. What's up, useless?
Happened.
They're all... It's all over now.
Is it over?
Yeah.
No? We're only halfway through the episode? What? Oh, sunrise. I thought that was something else.
My fans have been so supportive.
Wait, Stargirl is
Being
a
open about
reporter?
my mental health struggles helps
Okay,
even one of
good
them
for her, I
seek
guess.
help. It'll
But we made a mistake about Connor.
Just imagine having to tell teach your kid about death and just be like, well,
But we've never been
just
so
like,
glad to
oh,
be
well, never
so
mind, we were wrong. It's important, but I get why they're being so hesitant about it, because you don't want the kid to remember this. And then, remember this and have trouble dealing with death in the future.
Be here, Emery.
Oh, Emery, how have you been doing?
I've decided to go back to being Marie Maors.
Hey, that's, great. Good for you. Hey, Batman, you're just
About something.
there. Has he done anything this season?
We're all here together. A sanctuary.
I mean, that's a great idea. Don't know why it took you so long to come to think of it, but mental health is very important for superheroes.
Truly good, and I will
Oh,
always
and these two.
love and care about you.
Or at least talking.
But I've moved on. You need to move on too.
Does that mean Raven will be showing up?
You clean up well, especially for a dead guy.
Wait,
We cannot leave
what's
it
with
to
his
things.
hair?
Even Zod in the Phantom Zone.
No,
forever.
no. What is
All
with
have served
Connor's
as
hair? I hate it.
Then some.
Build their own world.
While the leader
Good.
of the new gods and
It's a good idea. Don't keep them trapped. That's only going to make them more annoyed.
Then it is
If you at
settled.
least give them some kind of escape,
We return
that's
to the
better.
Phantom Zone.
That's why Darkseid has been meddling? So that he could steal the Kryptonians for himself? No, that's not Darkseid. That's Savage. Savage now has all the worst enemies they've ever faced. Fork! Wait,
But how did
is it
you
a fork?
survive?
Or does that mean the Durlian species were
make it out.
descended from the white Martians that settled here?
I popped up in her as my way home.
Convenient? What's your
Metron
plan,
is so
Metron?
cooperative.
What is your deeper plan?
Surprised me too. Sorry, Lore escaped with it.
Well, no, Metron totally expected that to happen. Well, that's wrapped up. Oh, and that's what... Oh, God, that's smart. That shadow was there at the very beginning, right? That's smart. Metron, you evil little genius.
Hello, Legionnaires.
This is brainy.
You home.
That's an interesting design, to be sure. Unfortunately, I'm way too used to Supergirl's brainy.
The contrary.
Why was I so important?
You'll
Can't
see.
they obviously can't tell you that? I still don't like his haircut. Wedding music.
Was because everyone thought I already knew?
I don't remember who you are, unfortunately. Hey, it's you! Oh, thank gosh. I am so happy you're at this wedding. He was like a huge shipper of Magan and Connor back in the first season, right? Thank jeez. This is finally happening. Oh, that's why the limousines look the same. This is the bioships.
Can't part these two.
I'm so sorry, guys, but could you remind me who this guy in the middle is? I can't recognize him. Aww.
For all eternity.
This is finally happening.
Power vested in me.
Gosh, I love when weddings and shows.
Me last night.
Website that ordained me last night.
Love and long life.
Oh, it's finally happening. It happened. Oh god.
Want to dance 16 feet in the air?
Come on, why do you have to just describe these things? Would it really have cost that much money to actually animate some of it? Oh, good. Stinger.
The dark side.
Dark side, what's up?
Honor to official Black Mary.
Oh, Black Mary now.
Birthright by her brother, her mentor.
Oh
and all
well,
her
she
peers.
looks grumpy and evil, that's for sure.
As for the second, she is a Kryptonian, captured
Supergirl?
and turned. She was sent. to
You
Phantom
guys
Zone
know
alone.
who I was talking about.
This is Kara
We were
Zor,
ta-
the Supergirl.
We were talking about her.
Kara and
So
Mary
many episodes. We were talking about her in the comments.
of furies.
What?
Ready to
It's
take
like,
the battle
where is she? I guess she's not in this show.
Heroes.
But there she is.
Them.
Oh, I'm glad about that. And that was episode 26, Death and Rebirth. The finale of Young Justice Phantoms, Season 4. If you guys sit through this discussion section, you might want to settle in, because I'm going to be rambling on for a bit, and I don't know if it's going to be a long time or a short time. It just depends on how much I remember to say. I think I should start with just this episode. As I've said before, negativity, I don't like it, but I really could have had a longer episode. This really should have been longer. To properly wrap things up, it felt a little bit of kind of rushed because they had to have the wedding in the back half of it. And everything was tied up very neatly. Very, very neatly. And it seemed almost too neatly, and more not too neat, it was just too fast. I mean, Metron coming in with a magical extra time bubble? Just there? Hey, look, here you go. Go take that. Rocket being launched into Metron's world instead of anywhere else? I'm okay with convenience in a plot. I'm okay with that. It's an important thing for a lot of stories. Just the convenience pushes it forward. But there's a point where convenience is just too convenient. I don't know if you get what I say there. Point was, it was definitely a fun finale. We got to see a lot of good action with the team, and let's be fair, as much as that fight was alright, all I cared about was finally seeing that wedding happen. And I'm so happy. You can go all the way back to my episode 1 reaction, and at least I'm pretty sure I said it, that I would riot if I didn't get to see this wedding happen. And I was really annoyed when Connor apparently died and the wedding seemed to have been delayed. But I know, like, actually, I wasn't annoyed because I straight up denied it. I think I straight up denied the fact that the clowner was dead. So I'm like, oh shoot, now it's gonna be delayed and so on and so forth. I'm glad we finally see it. It's nuts. Wedding scenes in shows really get to me because it's nuts to think about how far these characters have come from the very first time we saw them together on screen. They give us a nice flashback here, but just I remember being a kid and seeing these two, flirt around with each other, act awkward around each other, and thinking that's really funny. And then, of course, you have High School Junior pushing them together, like, oh, you'd make a really good couple, and stuff like that. To see them finally getting married after so much up and down and left and right, it really feels good. And the stingers. So, our two hovering villains in this show are Savage and Darkseid. Savage was a lot of the early season stuff, and Darkseid is slowly creeping in a little bit more, unless I'm remembering wrong. But on one hand, Savage is on Warworld, and he has every major villain the Justice League has fought in the entire show just trapped in tubes on the Warworld. The question is, what does he intend to do with them? It's there. He's like, do you intend to turn them into an army? Because it'll be hard to face that. And more importantly, who do you intend to fight with that army? Because as much as I think he'll use them to take over the world, it also is very useful for fighting Darkseid, which is our other end credits teaser, where we saw Mary Marvel. She's like an evil Miss Marvel. Evil Marvel. She's not Miss Marvel, but evil. Well, whatever they called the sub. What do they call the sub Marvels anyway? I know Billy's Captain Marvel, but I don't remember what they call the other ones. She's now Dark Mary or Dark Marvel, whatever they call her, and she's got a black costume and she's edgy. She's obviously going to be a pain. And people who will remember, we've been talking about it in the comments about Kara, because they've been talking about no other Kryptonians existing, so I was confused because I was immediately thought about Supergirl. Here she is. She was in the Phantom Zone, and they did grab her, and Darkseid has control over her. I guess if there is a next season, we're going to see her wake up, hopefully. We'll see how they get through to her. It's going to be a thing. This is definitely Young Justice twisting the lore to their own usage, which is always fun. In all honesty, the episode wasn't as epic as I hoped. The last few episodes have been building to this absolutely nuts finale. Especially the last episode where it seemed like everyone was dead. I thought, this is going to be huge. This is going to be a huge, big thing. And it wasn't. And I get that's my fault. I, myself, am a proponent for... I don't know how to describe it, actually. I don't want to say a proponent. But I know that expectation is the biggest reason people hate content. Because they have certain expectations, and then when they get disappointed, they get angry. And it happened to me. I had a certain expectation. You guys heard I had a whole theory about a whole reverse time travel nonsense, and in the end of the day, everyone was just faking it. Simple as that. Still, though, the episode was fun. It won't rank high in my list of Young Justice finales, but it was good. Let's take a step back and talk about the arc as a whole. There was a disappointing lack of Dick Grayson. The whole basic premise of this season has been mini arcs for every single member of the original team. And I'm sorry, but Dick was shortchanged. That's a fact. His mini arc got rolled into the finale, and we didn't get any of him at all. Yeah, the first episode had him throwing out his detective skills to figure out everything that had already happened in the season. And of course he started out by like going back into his Dan Danger roots, but besides that, there's not much of him in his arc. Which, I'm not going to be sad about saying that he was my favorite character in the team, besides maybe Wally. So to have him shortchanged like this doesn't feel great. As for the, generalized arc anyway, the story was good. I really enjoyed how it managed to bring in a lot of little pieces of what we had seen in the rest of the season. That was good. That's what a finale needs. It needs to bring together all the little bits we've already seen to make it all useful in an ending. At least somehow, at least a little bit. And this arc did it. Even though some of the connections were weak. Take Artemis, for example. At the end of the day, her arc didn't matter to anyone at all, really, to this final story. It's like, yes, she's there to fight, but that's it. That is all the bearing her arc has on the rest of the story. Also, like I said, the episodes seemed to hype towards a climax at a level we didn't receive. You were hyping me up for this. I didn't get it. Now, I'm not going to say what we got was bad. I'm repeating myself over and over again. It's not bad. I'm not saying that. But it wasn't at what you really hyped me up at. So, I don't know. This is an issue. I'll take this as a segue to talk about all the arcs in general. Connor and Megan, strong arc. Really great story. Really good storytelling, the setting, getting back into the world, new issues in a new setting, the Martian politics. All of that was a really strong start to the show. And I heavily enjoyed it. Then you have Artemis's arc. Again, it's a really good story for what you have to work with, and tracking down Cheshire and dealing with her own issues and Cassandra's issues as well. Very well done, that story. It didn't end up mattering to the rest of the season, but it was still a good story. I really hope my camera didn't die while I was talking and I was too stupid to notice. Then we had the Zatanna arc, where things started getting a little iffy. I still think it was a good arc anyway. Zatanna training her kids and turning out it's all just a big scheme to get her dad out of Naboo's helmet. That's a really good for her character arc. And as the last little bit, she finally sees Superboy. The Clarion stuff was cool with this new Chaos Lord. That was a really cool big threat. And it also crosses over into something with the Aquaman arc, which is a really great point when that happened. And of course the school bus. I still think it's the most hilarious thing that they turned this random reoccurring school bus, which was probably just reusing assets or something, and turned it into this one linked Easter egg, where it's like, it's the same bus. It's like a conspiracy theory that they just confirmed right there. Like Stan Lee being the same person. It's like, hey, this is the same bus across every single appearance. Just running around. The Aquaman arc was cool, But by the last episode, I kind of felt like it had lost its momentum. What you started out with something with Atlantean politics, which I thought was actually interesting, but then by the end you had the fake Orm and the fake king and all that, and I think by that it had lost its point. But I still really loved the setting. The Rocket arc is definitely when the show gave up on really focusing on the character in terms and instead focused more on the larger story as a whole. Because, yes, I've seen the argument that the Rocket arc is supposed to be taken as more metaphorical, right? You see the different things like Kazar or whatever the dual-wielding lantern, whatever his name was, Razor, right? You take him as like she saw him and understood this. I get that argument, I really do. But still, this is supposed to be her arc, and we don't focus on her nearly enough to actually justify her change in character from the beginning to the end. And of course, I've already talked about Dick Grayson not really being important in his own arc, despite him being in the center of the art on the website. Besides those major arcs, we had background stuff like Violet and her journey to figuring out her identity. Honestly, that was a decently interesting story to check into every so often. Because it makes sense for this. As much as things were hectic last season, it's time for this box in a person's body to figure out what it actually wants, what it actually is. And it's cool. I know people were complaining about it. Fork you, it's fine. Oh, then we also had the Depressed Garfield show, where he just a lot of him sitting in his bed or rejecting his friends or taking pain or sleeping pills. He started out the whole season freaking out, and it was great to finally see him get help after weeks of yelling at the screen for someone to just push him into counseling. It finally worked. Also, it's a total change, but I've reminded of something about this last final arc. Talking about Garfield reminded me, and Violet reminded me of Markovia, and how that was just such a weird addition to this arc. Yes, it tees up the field towards future storylines they want to tell. Because Brion, Markovia, that's a huge thing that this left untouched, mostly. Actually, I thought this would be a huge part of this season. That's what I expected when the last season ended, that we'd deal with Brion and Markovia sometime this season, and we just straight up didn't. Though it was like a detour to go to Markovia and just be like, hey, you remember this storyline? We haven't forgotten it. It's over here. We're just not good. It's not important right now. That's all it felt to me. About the side stories, though. On one hand, I will agree they're good stories. They're really good character stories. On the other, I'm not sure if I agree with how they were presented. And not just them, right? There was also the Kent family dealing with Superboy's death and other small mini stories like that. I wasn't really a fan of how they were just interjected into the episodes. Like, we could be following Zatanna and the magic is ending the world, and it's like, oh, stop for a second. We need to go see Garfield lying in bed, all sad. Or, oh, stop. Oh, yeah, see, Superman's crying over there as he tries to explain death to his child. It really messes with the momentum of the stories you are trying to tell when you have such weirdly unconnected stories just being shoved in between. I'm thinking of it, and it's like if you played Avengers Infinity War and stopped at random points in time to go watch Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's essentially what this is. You're having The only reason these two stories are connected is because something happens at the end and because they happen at the same time. So it's like, oh, we're going to go over here. Then I'm just going to take 2 seconds to go look at what's over here. But then we'll go back to this one over here. And it wasn't great. There were literally some episodes where I felt like this is an entire tonal whiplash. This is not fitting in with the story you're trying to tell at all. And I would have liked it a lot better if the mini stories could somehow link to the theme of the episode, but it didn't. It just irked me. You know what's irking me is the fact that I am going into such a negative rabbit hole. And I've been talking for who knows how long at this point. What I need to accept, and what a lot of people need to accept, is that Young Justice is not the show it was back in season 1 or even season 2. It's not the same show. Hell, it's not even, this season 4 is not even trying to be the same thing it was in season 3. It's a different beast, and it needs to be treated as a different beast. It can't be straight up compared. And that's why I've been trying to avoid doing that. Like, oh man, I prefer this, the way they did this in season 1 or season... No, I'm not going to do that. Because it's unfair to do that. When it's clear the show has evolved so much further. There's a reason why it's Young Justice Phantoms, not just Young Justice Season 4. It's kind of like its own thing. I was joking earlier about like how it's the difference between how the old Justice League and then its sequel was Justice League Unlimited. And to be fair, Young Justice is it's almost the same thing here. It's just there's more sequels. There's more subtitles. That show was just Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. Now it's Young Justice and Young Justice Outsiders. I can't remember what the other subtitles to the seasons were. But you get my point. Despite me pining for the show it was in season 1, I want to make it clear for like the third time in all this long rambling that I still enjoy this show. I still love coming back into this peak at a wide DC universe that I cannot even begin to wrap my head around. I mean, I just can't imagine how confused I would have been without you guys helping me in the comments to explain this and that and that and this. And it's like, oh, why is there an eyeball? And who is this? And why is that? I would have been so lost, even if I had rewatched the first 3 seasons of the show. Honestly, that really is enough rambling out of me. I don't know who's sitting this long, but if you somehow have gotten to this point and you've heard all that I've had to say, thank you. I mean, I seriously appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know what to say. For all of you, thank you so much for watching this reaction. All my reactions to every episode this season. You guys have really made my day every single time. I see the numbers go up with the views, comments you give me. You guys don't know how much that means to me at this point in time. I know that all that numbers will drop after this episode. I understand that. It's unfortunate, but you gotta accept the facts. I really hope some of you will stick around, but hey, you guys focus on what you enjoy. And I'm still rambling. Thank you so much for watching. What was your favorite part of this episode? What was your favorite part of this arc? What was your favorite part of this season? Over here is whatever YouTube decides to show you, or maybe even season 5 if we get a season 5. Over here is a playlist of my videos, and on my face is the subscribe button. Like, comment, subscribe, Criticize even. I don't mind. See ya.